Hi there. How are you? I'm okay. Thanks for asking. My name is Juan Santiago. If you didn't know that, hi, I'm Juan. Most people call me Juanqui. You may call me Juanqui. This is my first video that I will do my very best to create a series on. I'm actually going to do a series, okay? My husband and I have officially started our surrogacy process journey via at-home insemination. So I am uploading a series of videos on my TikTok channel, but not everyone has a TikTok account. So I wanted to come up here and create this so that it can be shared with whoever needs to, wants to be a part of our journey, because this will be a long journey. We are at the mid stage of it, not early beginning, but mid stage, right? To tell you a little bit about ourselves, my husband Ariel and I have been married for 4 years now, together for 6. We are what I like to call a pandemic marriage. We got married in the middle of 2020, so through the worst of the pandemic. So that's why I say that. So, since early in our relationship, we always knew that having kids, that expanding our family was a dream and a common goal of ours. We didn't know exactly what were the options that were out there for us. We were not sure what was the route that we were going to go once we discover our options, but we had done all of our research. So the past couple of months have been research, and we have finally decided to begin our surrogacy process via the at-home insemination. So before I get into what that is like, I'm going to tell you what has happened up to this point. So if you haven't watched my TikTok videos, this will serve as a recap, right? So number one, I'll tell you that the way that we found our surrogate, it's very unusual. That's the word, yeah. It doesn't happen very often. All we can say is that it was meant to be. One of the things that we encountered while we were discovering what our options were was whether we wanted to do surrogacy through a clinic or via at-home insemination, which is what we ended up going with. The first thing was going to be to find a match, right? To find a female that would be willing to carry for us. This is right, and will be one of your hardest part because of many reasons. Number one, it's you not only need to ensure that your surrogate is medically clear, medically okay to be able to carry, and I'm sorry, I talk with my hands, so not only you have to ensure all that, but you also have to make sure that emotionally, physically, mentally, that this person is okay, right? And that you as intended parents like and match at a personal level with this person. And why it's important to match at a personal level? Because, well, this female will be carrying your baby for 9 months. And whether you do it through a surrogacy agency or at-home insemination where this person uses her own eggs for this, you will be bonded with this person for life, right? So you want to make sure that you are really finding the right match and that you check all the boxes. And that process can be long. That process can be months, years. You will never really know. So we were very blessed and lucky and fortunate that our surrogate, as soon as we matched and we started developing our relationship, we quickly had a really nice connection with her. So I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let me go back for a second. How do we find her? So many people do many different things. There are there are a lot of different ways in which you could go to where you would like to find your surrogate. Other people call them donors, however you want to call them. There's a lot of different ways for you to do that. You could create a profile in Facebook dating, and you can be very specific there as far as what you're looking for. There are public records out there through many different attorney offices and things like that, where you can go and you can find a list of who is already approved by medical records and this and that. So there are many different ways. Our way was, we found out about this app called Just a Baby, right? Where you create a profile, and this app is intended for LGBTQ plus only because we typically present the most challenges when it comes to finding a surrogate or trying to be parents, only because, well, same-sex couples, you get it, right? So of course there are a lot of straight couples as well that they have infertility problems, and they can also be on these apps. So this app, we found it, we did our research on it, we created our profile, and the app is essentially what a Tinder app is. I know you know what Tinder is. It's basically a matching app where you swipe left or right to see if you like the person, right? If you see their profile, which they would share pictures of them, they would share a little bit about what has brought them to the app, whether they're female, male, what are they willing to donate, what parts of their body are they willing to donate to make this happen. So, of course, as everything in today's world, there's a lot of scamming opportunities. So you have to be really careful with anything, but specifically with this kind of apps, because you just never know, right? So, to speed up that process a little bit, we matched with a female couple that were here local to us. One interesting fact about this app is that it's a global app, right? So there are people from all over the world there that you can be matched with. So after a week or so of us having our profile live in this app, we matched with a female couple that were local, and we started having a conversation and we talk. So from that conversation, we realized that our ultimate goals were not too aligned with each other's. So we kept the conversation. We had a really nice chemistry. So after a couple of days of us talking about all this stuff, they said, well, how about we just post it around our community and our social media, and maybe we have someone that would be willing to be your surrogate. So again, these are all things that you have to be very careful with, and you have to do your necessary research and all this stuff if you are matched with someone via this way, which we did, obviously. So once we did that, they shared it, they spread the word, which, to be fair, we were doing the same thing privately, right? We haven't posted on social media yet, but we were reaching out to potential candidates that we would totally consider as a possible match. So they were doing the same thing for us through their own circle. So they found two females that were actually interested. They put us in contact with both of them. We had obviously an initial conversation with both of them, and after a couple of exchanges via text before we move to the next step, we quickly identify which one we really would consider and wanted to learn more and all this stuff. So we did that. We started developing a relationship with her. I also have to mention that this person is local to us, which is a blessing, because a lot of these times you don't really find someone that lives in your local area. So you go through this process with someone that is out of state, and you can't really be present for, many milestones like appointments and things like that. So we're blessed that she's also local. So we continue developing our relationship with her. We did the necessarily background stuff that any agency would do. And then we were happy to match with her. I know I'm skipping a lot of details, but there's just so much that went into that it's all regular stuff that a person that is trying to get to know someone do, especially to go through a process like this. So we did all that. And then the last thing that we needed to do was, before we move forward with contracting and all of this stuff, was to meet her in person, which we did. We actually coordinated a dinner with her. I won't mention any personal details, any names, anything like that, because I am trying to keep it, as private as I can for now. Later on, I would love to be able to share a little bit more about her, and maybe even bring her on camera and have a conversation about what she went through in the process of meeting each other. Same thing as what we went through. So yeah. So we met her. We spent like 3, almost 4 hours with her. We had a blast, okay? And mind you, this was after weeks, months of us being on the phone, via text messages, phone calls, all this stuff. We had an amazing time all together. We really connected. She's adorable. She's a sweetheart. We just couldn't have asked for a better match. So that in-person meeting was the last thing that we needed for us to say, okay, we're doing this. Let's move forward. So we have an attorney. Okay, there are multiple components that are legally required when you do a process like this, which have been all taken care of, and they continue and will be taken care of throughout the pregnancy up to delivery. So obviously we are moving forward with her. We all understood that this was a perfect match. Again, after doing the necessary steps before making that decision, we understood and identified that she was our perfect match. So, is it scary? Yes. Is it nerve-wracking? Yes. Emotional? Yes. Yes, yes, and yes. But the way that we see it, many of these things that we are and will be going through are no different than what any other couple trying to be parents go through. In our case, obviously, as two males, this is the way that we decided to go at it. It might not be the way that some people decide to do this, but this is what works for us, and is what we are going with. So what's next? Well, we are currently awaiting for her ovulation peak, which as of yesterday, and I'm recording this video today, July 31st. So as of yesterday, our surrogate, she is on her period, so her period has officially started. So she will now keep track of all of it, and she will do all of the necessary testing when her ovulation period comes, which it's in about 2 weeks. So in about 2 weeks from today will be our very first trial. Yes, our very first insemination trial. And how are we doing that? Well, I'll do my best to explain this, okay? There are multiple kits, toolkits that you can buy. You can buy them from Target. You can buy them from Amazon. Online, many other websites sell these kits for you to be able to do this at home. And just as I've said before, there are different processes in which you can achieve insemination or artificial insemination, right? We chose to do it with a tool that allow us to let's say our swimmers will be suctioned by a syringe that our female donor or our surrogate will then inject herself with. Now, this is again what we decided to do, right? There are other ways in which you can do this. You can hire an experienced doula or an experienced midwife that would come home and do the insemination part of it. After doing all the research and knowing exactly what needed to happen, we feel, and our surrogate feel, very comfortable with doing it herself. We don't need to go through all of that extra steps to be able to achieve our insemination, right? So that's basically it. She injects herself with our swimmers, and then from there we just wait as a regular process, for her to test and find out if the insemination was indeed successful. Now, during her peak, we will probably inseminate a couple of times, only because it is recommended that when you do it like this, you not only do it once. How many times is up to you and your surrogate and what you guys discuss and agree on. We will do it a couple of times during her peak, and then if that doesn't work, if that period doesn't work, we will wait for the next one, the next cycle, and so on. For some people it takes the first time. For some people it takes more than that. It really depends on what you on your body and all of this. So as soon as we find out if our first insemination was successful, we will move forward with finding an OBGYN, getting the necessary appointments done. There's a lot more that goes into it, like insurance and things like that, which I'm already at 18 minutes, so this will be a much longer video if I touch on that. If you are interested on learning more about the specifics, about the legal specifics and all that stuff, please comment down below. I would love to be able to respond to some of those questions. If you have any, don't be shy, okay? I will try to be as open as I can, because I know we're not the only ones going through this. I know we will not be the only ones going through this. And if our process, our journey can help others to find answer to their questions, or simply to inspire and give hope that although for some people it might be harder, more difficult than others, if your intentions of becoming parents are what you want and you really want to go through with it, there are options, okay? And some of these options do not necessarily incur in you having to break your bank, okay, to make this happen. So there are options, and if you can learn anything from these videos that I'll be doing, I hope that you do. Please feel free to share and like, subscribe to my channel so that you can stay on the loop with upcoming videos. Like I said, this will be a series of videos that I will do about this, and I hope you all come along with us in this journey. It's crazy to think about where we are, how fast things have happened, and how fast things continue to happen. I'll mention this: if our first insemination is successful, this will be during my birthday week. So how awesome would that be? I mean, it's been, the timing of this could not be more perfect. Okay, like everything is falling in place when and where it needs to. So trust the process. Trust God. Trust the universe that things will happen when they are supposed to happen for you. Okay, so that's all. Thank you for watching my very long 20 minutes video. I hope you stick around and stay tuned for the next one. Okay, bye.